Sampler feedback streaming is a technology that developers really must start using in order to take full advantage of Xbox Series consoles. Let's look into this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So Xbox Series consoles have been on the market for over 2 years now, and there's some great games running fantastic on these consoles, but also some bad ports, I'm afraid. And today I want to talk about one particular technology that will boost performance in games and graphics on both Xbox Series S and X, but really Xbox Series S, I feel like, would benefit from use of this technology in games the most, because Xbox Series X, I guess, can just push through with the raw power and bandwidth and everything, while Xbox Series S has been created in a way that without use of these next-gen features, yeah, you're not really taking full advantage of that console. And yeah, it's quite capable machine, but yeah, devs needs to must start using these next-gen features. And one of the most important one, I guess, is SFS, sampler feedback streaming. Sampler feedback streaming is part of velocity architecture, right? And it's one of these features that I guess the easiest way to put it is this technology is used to save memory, memory space and memory bandwidth. I'm talking about main memory, but also SSD, because the way it works is that SFS loads less data to memory from SSD, and if there's actually less data to load from SSD to memory, not only the main memory is not being utilized that much, but also SSD and the bandwidth between memory and SSD is utilized a bit less. So basically then you can stream, or you can upload, well, you know, more of a higher quality, I guess, assets when it comes to games and stuff, right? Now, I did explain many times what SFS is all about. It's like I said, it's all about you know, saving memory. SFS, the way it works is that it just takes only these textures that are needed for this particular game, and overall it leads to sometimes even double or 3 times save of space. So if a game on Xbox One X, for example, would take around 9 gigabytes, like when it comes to space in the memory, or on Xbox Series S or X, the same game with use of SFS, you know, could take well, half of it, or maybe even less, right? So that's a big saving, and the rest of the memory you can actually use for other stuff, right? And this is where the biggest problem with Xbox Series S and X actually is, especially Xbox Series S, is the memory. Now, I'm sure you've heard about developers complaining about the memory bandwidth and not enough memory. I'm talking about the main memory, RAM, and that's all true. But this happens when you don't use SFS, and due to the fact that for the past 2 years, developers have been still using the same old engines that they used in previous generation games. Yeah, they're not really taking advantage of these technologies. And like I said, so SFS is a massive memory size and bandwidth feature, and you know, until developers start using it, yeah, we will have games that have crippled frame rate drops, or no ray tracing on Xbox Series S, because, and this is why I say that on Xbox Series X you can kind of get away with it, like you can drop resolution and you'll be fine, right, with some of the like performance issues and stuff, right, dynamic resolution. But with Xbox Series S, that's not really the thing. It's a 1080p machine anyway. You cannot really drop the resolution even lower than 720p, for example. Even if you use SFR 2.0 later, you know, the game will be blurry as hell. But yeah, the SFS would allow for more games to not only have better performance, because performance, Well, people say, oh, performance is on on GPU for graphics or CPU for draw calls and number of frames. Yes, obviously that's partially true, but also memory bandwidth is very important, and amount of memory, because the faster you can get the data from SSD to memory and other way around, you don't get stalls, you don't get bottlenecks, and yeah, that's what Xbox Series S actually suffers big time, and that's why Xbox actually allowed some developers to actually access extra memory, sacrificing OS features, I guess. Either way, but that's, again, I know I will say this for the third, maybe fifth time. It's all because developers don't use SFS, unfortunately. Now, I have no information on what developers going to do with it, when they're going to start using it. Is there any game engine or game that actually has that implemented? I'm talking about both games that are on the market. I don't think there's any games like that, or future games. I would imagine like Forza Motorsport being one of the games that actually uses that. And yeah, I mean, and this is the thing. I think the very first games that will really utilize these features and show true potential of Xbox Series S and X are going to be first-party games. And like Forza Motorsport, for example, right? Forza Motorsport on Xbox Series S will run at 1080p 60 frames per second, which is nothing really special, right? I mean, on Xbox One X, this game runs at 4K 60. But what's interesting is that this game will run with ray tracing. It will come with ray traced reflections on the cars, and also ray traced global illumination. So that requires a lot of memory, because I mean, even Digital Foundry did say that the biggest problem with games on Xbox Series S using, or should I say not using, ray tracing is the fact that there's not enough memory, because ray tracing is memory intensive as well. And looks like you can do a 1080p 60 frames per second game with full ray tracing. I mean, it's not path tracing, but having both ray traced global illumination and reflections, that's a big thing. And on Xbox Series X, this game will run at 4K 60 frames per second with all these graphics ray traced features. So that just goes to show that if you've got a developer that knows how to utilize these features and stuff, you get great results. Because I've complained, especially recently, quite a lot about games being at 1080p even on Xbox Series X. So I get it, 1080p games on Xbox Series S, that's fine, right? These are more casual consoles, but I want higher resolution, at least 1440p and 1440p, sorry. And in many games we don't get that, but hey, it's just clumsy optimization. Now, I'm not trying to blame everything on developers, because like not every single developer has the same skill set. Not every single developer even knows about these features. And hey, by the way, I'm getting into game development myself. I'm actually working on a game right now, believe it or not. I will have some announcements soon. And in order to make a game, you don't necessarily have to understand the hardware. All you need is engine, and you work on it, right? Like Unity engine. I'm working with Unity, and I don't necessarily care about all these features and what's there. I just use the features that are in the engine, right? And many developers actually work this way as well. And so if Unity or Unreal Engine 5 or some other third-party engine uses these features, devs will use these features as well. I mean, not necessarily that they implemented themselves. That feature is in the game engine and you can use it, right? So anyway, guys, listen, at the end of the day, this generation has been delayed a bit with all these game delays. COVID actually impacted a lot of things, but we're actually starting getting these proper next-gen games, current-gen games. And I don't think that, I mean, Dead Space is actually a cool game, but I don't think it's like a proper next-gen game yet. Is this game on Xbox One and Xbox and PlayStation 4? I'm not sure. It might be, who knows, but I think that moving forward we'll start seeing these games in the future. But even Hogwarts Legacy or Atomic Heart, so there's still a lot of games coming out this year that will be still cross-gen titles. But yeah, games like Jedi Survivor, for example, is going to be a proper current gen game, and hopefully it will take advantage of some of these features and stuff, and we will see good results not only on PC but also on consoles. So anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for support. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.